Brakti Hawa, Brakti Hawshai, Brakti Hawa, Brakti Hawshai, Brakti Hawa, Brakti Hawshai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Kal Halalim Labanawa Yahawa Alahayanawa, Bahashim Yahshai, Bahashim Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops of Great Millstone, and shalom to the prophets of that body and the prophets of the affiliate camps. Shalom. What you see on screen here is the sign of the times. Nothing against this specific couple, all right? They're just a young couple making prank videos, okay? But what I'm getting at is what it says here: feeding my girlfriend human meat for the first time, insane reaction. Okay, obviously it's a prank video, so it wasn't really done, as far as I know. All right, yeah, it wasn't really done. Okay, and but that and how old is this video? 3 months old. So this is the sign of the times, and it's in the air where even people that aren't even watching mainstream news and even the news that's underground, which gives you greater clarity, you know, that isn't hidden, that doesn't have any hidden messages, it's straight and direct and raw and uncut. Even that news is touching on this specific subject, okay? And Esau is making, the so called white man is making videos which they call mockumentaries, all right? And it's done by high level, um, the elites of the elites in terms of chefs or sous chefs or whatever, whatever the specific terms are in the so-called chef world. The likes of Graham, was it Graham? Not Graham. What's that guy, the Edomite from the UK with the lines on his forehead, the blonde one, the likes of him, the ones who's in America, the one who swears a lot, the one who's I forgot his name. Anyway, I don't want to dwell on that too much before I forget my train of thought. But anyway, they're making mockumentaries, right? Which is basically telling you the truth, but covering it with a shade of humor, which is basically dark comedy or comedy, right? And it's also in the scriptures when the famine came during the book of Lamentations, where women did eat the actual children. And there's going to be a time coming on this earth, which is very, very, very soon, where, excuse me, where there will be, I always get a dry throat when I'm making a video, where there will be scarcity of food. And we've seen in the news price hikes, inflation, things like that happening. And these price hikes and inflation, where it's going to sort of eliminate people that can actually afford these these goods and services. And then what the so-called elites are doing is, with their puppets, is storing up loads of goods and services where they're only going to put a set amount out there, and they're going to put it at a specific price where only the wealthy can purchase it. And even what they're putting out in front of you, whether it's some Whole Foods or any other sort of British counterpart where it's supposedly grass-fed veal, or not veal, I can't eat veal anyway, grass-fed beef or grass-fed lamb or whatever, it's not even, more than likely, not even real anyway, especially if it's at very cheap prices. Okay? Because the Lord did say we were going to eat our bread defiled in the land, in captivity. Okay? And this is, and also Esau is giving you bread and circuses as well, where they're filling your mind up with news that doesn't have no relevance about your time here on earth right now, and it doesn't have no relevance of what's to come. It's just basically bullshit about who's a flip-flop, a homosexual, okay, or who is amongst the so-called A-list Israelite actors. When I'm saying Israelite, I'm talking about the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, for the bulk of them, any Israelite foreigners, whether they can be recognized through the spirit or not, right? And they're giving you bread and circuses. Cat Williams, Mike Epps talking about different this, that, and the third. Will Smith slapping what's that guy's name? Chris Rock, right? And all other types of BS news. Oh, about R. Kelly and all that kind of stuff. Bill Cosby. Um, when they're putting all this news out there, and the so-called white man does greater atrocities and greater crimes, but they get away with it. But what they put in the front of you is people that look like you and talk like you, that are your so-called race, and you just focus on that. And in this skit, if you watch it, he's talking about her man is talking about uh, this being in the news, and his woman responds by saying, "I don't watch news like that. It's gonna." I'm not going to say exactly what she said. I'm saying it, just paraphrasing it. She said, "I'm not going to watch news that is going to sort of ruin her day or ruin her spirit, because a lot of which is true, because a lot of Jakes want to bury their head in the sand. Then when all hell breaks loose, right? Because all Jakes want to do is like what Biggie said, party and bullshit, right? So when all hell breaks loose, which is going to be very very soon, very 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 soon, right? Then they're going to wonder what the hell's going on. And when she assumes she's eating human meat, she panics. You should just watch it yourself. She panics greatly. But when that time is going to come, when all hell breaks loose, okay, it's going to be a time worse than 70 AD. Okay, what's coming on this earth is going to be really, really, really bad. Okay, there'll be a lot of graping going on, women being taken off the street, men being overwhelmed by. You already saw what happened in India, an Israelite couple. All right, a beautiful, comely, young Israelite Northern Kingdom woman, right, a so-called Latina, married to an elderly Israelite man, a Latin Jake. Okay, Jake, short for Jacob, an Israelite couple. They went camping in India, or I think they were, camping. They had their tents out and all that, from what I saw in the pictures. You can't do that in India. You know how India, listen, India is they're like sharks over there. I don't even like visiting that fucking place. All right? You got beggars coming out there bothering the shit out of you because Esau's turned that into a shithole by stealing all the natural resources over a period of 200 years when they did rule over there. All right? There's a lot of shisty sharks over there. You got to be very, very, very careful up there. All right. It's like even Latin America. You got to be very careful over there if you don't know the culture and if you don't understand the people. All right. And this poor couple, right, went over there. They were warned as well not to do that, not to camp over there, whatever they were, because how they were visiting, and they were being too overtly friendly as well. You can't be friendly with the people up there either. You got to keep it moving. All right. And what happened was they beat the hell out of her husband, smacked him in the face with a rock, knocked him out or whatever. And 5 Elamites, real East Indians, right, dot heads, raped his wife. 5 of them, 5 to 7 of them. Okay, all right, and this is going to happen on a grander scale in America and every part of the world. All right, and along with the scarcity of food, right, there will be cannibalism, and they show you that in movies like The Road. They show you movies like The Book of Eli. Why are they showing you these movies? It's Esau, the so-called white man, prophesying on the left-hand side, called Revelation of the Method. And the Lord is warning you and warning you and warning you. But what does Jakes want to do? You know? Jakes just want to party, because wherever there's a Jake area, Jakes are going to be hanging amongst each other, and they're just going to be talking about bullshit, fun stuff, so-called fun stuff, you know? And a lot of these Jakes, nothing wrong with making money, nothing wrong with that, okay, lawfully, all right? But what it is, you also got to keep your ear to the ground to find out what's going on in the world as well, and not bury your head in the sand, all right? Because if you're going to bury the head in sand, a simple analogy would be, it's like you crossing a freeway blindfolded. You're going to get eventually hit by a truck, aren't you? By an 18-wheeler. So wouldn't you rather be spiritually aware what time it is? Okay? This is, what's this guy's name? Greg Wallace. And this is from just last year, 20th of July, 2023. Look at this guy, looks demonic as fuck. You can tell he goes to those underground meetings and he probably drinks a whole lot of blood as well. You can tell, look at him. Just look at his face. And Edomites like to eat their meat raw as well. Along with the Chinese and other gooks and stuff, they like to eat. They eat anything that moves. All right, and then our people have become more wickeder than the wicked, so they're gonna end up joining in when there's scarcity of food. The hoax documentary about human flesh eating that shocked the UK. Look, if it's a hoax, why would you make a documentary about it or a mockumentary? Why? What is the purpose of it? And because this was done by the BBC, right? The British Broadcasting Commission, I believe stands for, right? They received thousands, if not numerous, complaints about the video because they're prophesying on the left hand side, whether they joke about it or not. Don't a lot of comedians prophesy and talk about the state of the world, the current climate? You're living in a prison planet. They talk about the MO to the T to the B, which is the mark of the BEAST, okay, which is the rice grain sized biometric item that will go inside your flesh, pursuant to Revelation 13:16, the charagma, 603 score 6. Don't they talk about that? Don't this show? Didn't they show in the recent Super Bowl talking about showing chariots, so-called UFOs? They're prophesying, letting you know that the chariots will show up. Okay, the real chariots to save and beam up the elect. So they let you know of the good things that are going to come, as well. Well, it's good things for the elect, but also what's going to come on this earth as well. All right. If you think this is a joke, what is the purpose of this? All right. And this is Greg Wallace. He's not no fly-by-night chef or wherever he is. All right. This guy is big time. All right. Earlier this week, look at this, by Neil Armstrong. All right. And you know who Neil Armstrong was, right? The clown who supposedly went on the moon. I'm just talking about the name. It could be a real Neil Armstrong, but that's neither here nor there. Earlier this week, okay, and by the way, there was no moon landing. That's some bullshit too. Earlier this week, Greg Wallace, the British Miracle Meat, about a gruesome new food development, caused a stir, but it was the latest satire masquerading as reality, writes Neil Armstrong. On Monday night in the UK, viewers settled in to watch a new documentary, Greg Wallace, The British Miracle Meat, with mounting horror. Wallace, a genial broadcaster, best known for co-presenting the BBC's cooking reality show MasterChef. I think you guys have an equivalent of that in the States. Or was it in Canada? MasterChef was fronting a half-hour Channel 4 program about a new development in food technology. Channel 4 is one of the major channels here in the UK. This, he said, beaming and holding out a steak is engineered human meat. This, he said, beaming and holding out a steak, okay, in speech marks here, is engineered human meat. That's right, a protein made from human cells. It looked like lightly marbled beef. And also on certain streets in the UK, as well as in Europe, they have stands, right, with people asking them to sample meat that's made from human cells. They're actually doing that right now. They're getting your mind ready and primed for those people that will gravitate towards eating human flesh. So they're going to get you primed saying, okay, it's okay to eat human flesh. Try it, see if you like it. And they're going to say, oh yeah, it tastes okay. It tastes like chicken or it tastes like beef. And what's going to happen? When that hell breaks loose and there's no food, this is going to increase people juking each other up and roasting their ass on a Spitfire. Good Harvest, we were told, is a company producing 6 tons of engineered human meat every day. Wallace was given a tour of the production plant where 30 kilograms, which is about 60 to 70 pounds of meat cakes were grown in nutrient-rich tanks from thin slices of human flesh provided by paid donors. The enthusiastic Wallace enlisted Chef Michael or Michel Roux Jr. to sample some steaks with him. The pair discussed the terrier aspect of the meat, Does the stuff grown from donors in the northeast of England taste different to that from donors in the southeast? At this point, viewers were taking to social media to express their disgust, but there was much more to come. Look at this, Good Harvest. And that's actually a real company too. Made by humans, from humans. All right, human tissue in transit. There you got the samples of human flesh there. Actually, just check them out. Good Harvest. It actually exists. Good Harvest. I've heard of them as well. Good Harvest. What is Good Harvest? Okay, so they're harvesting the human flesh. That's right, a protein made from human cells. It looked like lightly marbled beef. Okay, all right, cool. Wallace interviewed. Okay, Greg Wallace, the British Miracle Meat was a satire on the cost of living crisis. Okay, because people are running out of money, people things are inflating. The director said, okay, Wallace interviewed a 67-year-old woman driven by the cost of living crisis to reluctantly donate. Okay, this is speech marks. This is a woman speaking. You know there's something wrong when you've got to jump on a bus and go and have some flesh scooped out of your arm for money, she said. Then we learned that the company's new premium product would be meat created using donations from children. It's all gravy, baby, because our babies taste great with gravy, chirped the voiceover on a promotional film. It's all gravy, baby, because our babies taste great with gravy, chirped the voiceover on a promotional film. Isn't it all? Isn't a lot of people that sell out say the same term? It's all gravy. That has a probably different meaning to it, something to do with being a mole, but this is referring to it's all in the same dark side anyway. But now most viewers had realized this wasn't real. It was a spoof inspired by Jonathan Swift's a modest proposal. All right. Nevertheless, whether it was a spoof or not, it's still prophesying on the left hand side. And how do you know that they weren't really eating human flesh? How do you know? But why do this in the first place? What's the logic behind it? It's simply prophesying on the left hand side because it's going to go down. All right. Let's go to Lamentations, the book of Lamentations, right? And this was during 70 AD, I believe, and during the siege. And I'm just going to go to the part where, okay, let's go to Lamentations 4 and 9. And they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through what? For what? Slakia. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away, stricken through for want of the fruits of the field. Okay, the Lord is saying it's better for you to die by the sword than to die by hunger. Okay, when your insides are eating you out. All right, and you're just rotting away, and you die slowly and slowly and slowly. For the Lord to do that to you, the Lord really don't like you. All right, and then on top of that, for the Lord to put a demonic spirit on you to get to the point where, especially you Israelites, the heathen are going to do this anyway. They're going to eat each other. But for the Lord to put the demonic spirit on you on the left hand side, right, where you're going to eat other humans, right? Even other humans that look like you. Okay, that's that the Lord don't really like you. But for the elect, the hopeful elect, the Lord's going to provide them with provisions. Okay, lawful food and drink. All right, but you heathens and 2/3 are going to get this coming to you. All right, verse 10. The hands of the pitiful woman have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. Okay, so women, sodden. Sodden means to like soak, you know? They've chopped up the meat and they've sort of like put it in some kind of broth or some kind of, I don't know, some kind of sauce or water or whatever to soften up the meat. Yeah? Let me just get the actual correct. That's what it is. Sod. Sodden meat definition. All right. Sodden. Soaked with liquid or moisture saturated, heavy, lumpy, or soggy as food that is poorly cooked. Having soaked appearance, bloated as a face. Sodden refers to something that is thoroughly soaked or saturated with liquid. Okay, yeah, so that's what it means. So even women, right, got their own children that they carried in their bellies, in their stomach for 9 months, 9, 10 months, right? 9 months, as we know today, right? 9 months, right? They give birth to, they breastfeed, they grow, right? They get to the point where they get so hungry, where they juke their own children, slay their own children, and then get them their flesh and soak it in water or whatever kind of liquid they want to soak it in, so they can roast it or whatever. Okay, and this was the 70 A.D. Siege. And lamentation. What does lament mean? Okay, what's the definition of lamentations? The passionate expression of grief or sorrow, weeping, wailing, crying, sobbing, moaning. That's what lamentations means. Okay, and what's coming is going to be worse than 70 A.D. It's going to be 70 A.D. on steroids. All right, you see it in the movies. You see people talk about it in comedy. You've seen stands, right? You know, like where you go through a store and they might have like you have those cheese and pineapple sticks, or it's on a what do you call them? Toothpicks. It's on toothpicks where they give you a sample of food. You know, it could be like a grape and a bit of cheese or whatever. You go into stores, yeah, try it. You know, we're selling this in uh, in a box with cheese and fruit or whatever. You know, those kind of things, like a cheese plate or whatever. They might ask you to try it. They're actually doing that with toothpicks with actual human flesh, and they're asking people to try it. And a lot of Edomites are game to try it, but a lot of Jake are saying, no, 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 no. It's against the Bible to eat that. You know, they don't feel comfortable with doing that. You know, now and then there's also uh, young couples making a joke out of it. You know, you know, making a joke out of it. You know, because it's in the air. He's obviously heard about it, right? He's obviously heard about it. He's obviously heard about it. He's obviously heard about it. You know, so that energy is in the air where it's going in that direction. You know, a lot of prophets, men of great millstone, have had also dreams where brothers have said, you know, um, there's not too many Passover. There's no. I think the way that a brother said it was that there's not going to be too many Passovers after this one. You know, which means it could be this year or next year, man. The Lord could return. Lord willing, sooner the better, right? So things are going to speed up, and you know that the time is speeding up like crazy. Then the Lord says he's going to shorten the time for the elect's sake. And Revelation 12, verse 12 says that, you know, that the devil has a short time, paraphrasing scripture there. So they're really going to get down because they're shit scared. A lot of these elites, you don't even see them on the news no more like they used to be because they're in their bunkers hiding and ready, you know. They don't want to see the entertainment, and they're also shit scared because I know they're having dreams of seeing the elect men ready coming at them. So they are scared. All right. Couple more scriptures. Victuals is food. All right, food and drink. And at the moment, a lot of these, a lot of Jake out there. I don't care about the heathen. I'm talking about Jake, right? A lot of Jake out there. And a lot of heathens, okay, let's talk about them too, are some of them are making okay money, right? And to the point where they think that they're good because they think the dollar's going to go on forever. They're going to grow old in America. There's going to be flying cars and shit like that, which that's not going to happen because America's going to be destroyed with nuclear fire. All right. They also show you that as well, prophesying. Wasn't that in Terminator 2 and other numerous movies? All right. America's not going to last forever. Okay. So-called white man's going into slavery and the heathen nations too. And you dot heads, okay, that like to rape women. All right. Or grape women. And so that's why, you know, Jake watches all these movies like that Tyrone movie with Jamie Foxx, where they show you what Esau, the so-called white man, does to foods and the experimentation that they do. And you, Jake, still go to these Chick-fil-A's and these other counterparts, these KFCs and McDonald's, willingly, and probably sometimes numerous times a day because it's cheap. A 10 cent or 10 pence burger or a 1 pound burger. Do you actually think that's real meat? For a pound 50, 2 pounds, or $1.50, 2.50 or whatever, and you get a burger and fries. I mean, the Lord did say we're going to eat our bread defiled, but you think you're in a good case. Second Ezra 16:21. Behold, victuals, which is food, right? Food, drink, and things like that. Food shall be so good, cheap upon earth, that they shall think themselves to be in good case. And even then shall evils grow upon earth, sword, famine, and great confusion. There is great confusion. A man can't be a man no more. A man thinks he's a woman. A woman thinks he's a man thinks he's a woman. A woman thinks she's a man. Famine is growing. Motherfuckers are in the street begging for food. you know, you got America lending money to Ukraine and Israel, the small hatters, the tunnel diggers. When the money that they gave them, right? If they spent that money in America, they could erase poverty. You know, and sword is it's coming. The sword. All right, because people are gonna go buck wild. No food, no jobs, no food, no water. You know, what do you think that's gonna lead to? Especially those people that are gonna go into slavery. And you 2/3 Jakes have got so much invested in this world. There's no coming back from this. Because the heathen, the so-called white man, the heathens, the Elamites, East Indians, the Arabs, and Chinese, Japanese, Japhetic, Polynesian, the Aborigines, the Australian Aborigines, and other heathen nations that are non-Israelites. This is their world, because after this world, when the Lord returns, these heathens are going into slavery, and the so-called white man's going to get it the worst, the Edomites. That's why they're going to fight tooth and nail, all right, to have some kind of normalcy, which they're not going to ever get back again. Okay, you guys reminiscing on old school music, which is basically which you crackers hate. You hate niggas, don't you? You hate so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, right? You hate the Israelites, right? But America is made up from every invention, from the cars to every genre of music, from the dress code, from the hip talk, okay, from the haircuts and hairstyles, every aspect that makes it so-called cool. And when America was so-called great in the 70s and 80s, and prior to that, was done by the people you hate. It's not going to ever come to that. The only reason you Edomite so-called white people exist is because of the Israelites. All right, the Israelites, the Israelites can exist without you, okay, but you need us to exist because we made your world great, even though we've been in subjection. And you're not going to come back from this one. So they're going to fight like tooth and nail, and they're going to eat you motherfuckers up. And some of you Jakes that don't know about the kingdom, that don't know you're Israelites, that disregard it, that have sold out, you're going to get it the worst. because you're the Lord's people, but you're not the elect of the elect. You are you're Israelites, so you should thank the Most High for that. Thank Yahweh Hashem Yahshai for that, because you're going to come back in the kingdom and you're going to be all right, but you're going to die horribly on this side. And I did mention earlier, the Lord did say we're going to eat our bread defiled, because a lot of the food we eat, we don't know whether it's real meat or not. We don't know what kind of whether Esau, the so-called white man, and the heathens are putting pork juice in the toothpaste, in the hair gel, in the creams. They could be hacking up dogs using their juice, putting in all the products. Because they want to cut us off from being a nation, pursuant to Psalms 83. Ezekiel 4:13, and the Lord said, and the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshai said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their bread, Salakia. And the Lord Yahweh Hashem Yahshai said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whether I will drive them. So whether the Lord has scattered us to the four corners of the earth, we've been eating our bread defiled. We don't know what's in it. You guys don't have faith in Yahweh Hashem Yahshai, but you got faith in the so-called white man, right? They can't do that to us. The white man or whichever heathen nation is, they can't do it to us. They have to protect us. They have to give us healthy food. But you have faith in them, right? But if you actually knew what's in it, you would never eat again. There's one more scripture I want to get. It's Ezekiel 4:12. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of a. And thou shalt eat it as barley cakes, and thou shalt bake it with dung that cometh out of man in their sight. Okay? Even certain factory documentaries you watch, like if they're making candy bars, sometimes those candy bars, they'll let you know there has an element of mouse droppings in it. Mouse shit. All right? And a lot of, if you work with Edomites, right, whether it be at a building site or in a corporate office, I've worked with these devils. These motherfuckers come out of the cubicle after taking a shit and don't even wash their hands. I've got to wash my hands and grab some tissue to just open the damn handle. And these motherfuckers touch everything. And there's also been news, it was on Twitter, where an Edomite was going through a store, putting things up his rectum and putting it back, so people touch it. There's also been footage of Edomite women, right, fat, lard-ass Edomite women, right, putting the underwear to the side, they're wearing a skirt or whatever, bending down in a shopping mall or in a shopping where people buy food, and taking a shit, coming out all liquidy. That's how nasty these motherfuckers are. And don't you think that affects food in a general way? And these are the same people, for the most part, right, that are recruited in factories to prepare your food. There's footage of Edomites spitting in ketchup bottles, spitting in food. So I'll tell you one thing. If you're buying any kind of food, you got to make sure that it's a sealed, airtight container. If it's been popped or the seal's been popped and it's on for sale, buy this ketchup bottle for, it was $2.50, but now it's $1.25. Why is it $1.25? Oh, because the seal is popped. You better not buy it, because you don't know what the hell is in it. All right? We're in hell, so you better take the best from the worst situation. All right? So this is not going to be a joke very soon. All right? Just a warning, because that time is coming. Okay? That time is coming. We don't have too long here left. And if you can't feel it in the spirit, there's something wrong with you. Get your head out of the sand. You Israelites, stop watching the bullshit news and watch the real news. All right? You got Edomites and heathen nations, especially the so-called white man, prepping. And you got you Jakes. What are you guys Jakes doing? Twerking, shooting each other, beating the hell out of each other on a train, calling each other niggers, while the Edomites are standing around watching you Bloods and Crips fight each other on a train or a bus, looking like looking like a fucking minstrel show. You're an embarrassment. All right, but that's why 2/3 pursuing to uh, Zechariah 13:9, Zechariah 13:8 and 13:9 are going to be put to death in America, man. A lot of and a lot of Jakes are going to die around the world as well. We're the most largest nation on the planet, pursuant to Hosea 1 and 10. But a small remnant is going to make it through. 144,000 elect men. Along with that 1/3 will be also other men, women, and children, which also could be the families of those elect men or just individual Israelites chosen. Anyway, all praises to Yahweh, Allahayano, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash. Shalom.